Meeting to order. Municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa would like to acknowledge and recognize that we are operating for Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 lands, being the original territory of the Anishinaabe and Dakota Nations and the homeland of the Métis Nation. First item is the adoption agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for the May 21st, 2024 meeting be accepted as presented. Somebody say that. Councilor Fisher, second Councilor McDonald. All in favor? Be it resolved that the minutes of the April 16th, 2024 regular meeting of council be hereby approved as circulated. Somebody move that. Councilor Hatch, seconder, Councilor Jones. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the May 9th, 2024 special meeting of council be hereby approved as circulated. Somebody move that. Councilor McGregor, second Councilor McDonald. Discussion, any errors or omissions? All in favor? Be it resolved that May 13th, 2024 general accounts payable be checks number 7261 to 7330, the amount of $273,910.26 be hereby approved. I would move that. Councilor Fisher, seconder. Councilor McDonald. Discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved to direct deposit 312, being staff payroll for the period April 15th to April 26th, 2024, in the amount of $12,128.80 be hereby approved. Move that. Councilor Hatch, seconder. Councilor McGregor. Discussion. All in favor? Be resolved to direct deposit 313, being staff payroll for the period April 29th to May 10th, 2024, in the amount of $13,204.06 be hereby approved. Can they move that? Jones, seconder. McGregor, discussion. All in favor? Be resolved to direct deposit 314, being council indemnity for the month of April 2024, in the amount of $6,125.63 be hereby approved. Do you move that? Councilor Hatch, seconder. Councilor Jones, discussion. All in favor? Be resolved that May 13th, 2024 utility accounts payable, being checks number 1151 to 1160. In the amount of $7,773.50 be hereby approved. So we move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor McGregor, discussion. All in favor? Be resolved the statement of revenue and expenditures report to April 30th, 2024 be received as presented. I need to move that. Councilor McGregor, seconder. Councilor Jones, discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved that the bank reconciliations for the month of April 2024 be approved as previously circulated. Somebody to move that. Councilor Fisher, seconder. Councilor Hatch, discussion. All in favor? Okay, we have a delegation this morning.
We do. We just need to check with Norma and see if she still wanted to sit in on this one. Amy, we invite you to come forward. Thank you. Norma.
Welcome, Amy.
Hello. So my name is Amy Dembo. I'm with Property Assessment. So I'm here to give you guys your updated tax impact report for the 2025 reassessment. You all have a copy of one of these here. So this report is just provided to you guys to give you an update, like I said, for the 2025 reassessment. The last reassessment was done in 2023. So we reassess every 2 years. So we're updating our reference date when we reassess. So the 2023 assessments were based on an April 1st, 2021 market value. And the 2025 reassessment, we're updating it to be based on an April 1st, 2023 market value. So as what properties were worth at April 1st, 2023. These updated assessments will be used for your 2025 property taxes. We reassess every 2 years just to make sure that we're staying equitable and fair across the province and your municipality. And it also promotes a greater ratepayer understanding, having them occur more frequently. Page 2 here. So reassessments reflect how property values have changed since the last reassessment in 2023, which can be attributed to many things, such as the changes in supply and demand for the real estate, so the market value, new construction that occurs, and any improvements to your existing properties in your municipality. The province's taxable assessment has increased by 13%. Now, this includes the city of Winnipeg. If you take out the city of Winnipeg, the rest of the province went up about 16%. Your municipality has increased about 10% or 19 million. And this is based on your taxable assessment, which is your portioned value, which is what you guys use for your taxes. This table here just illustrates how each class or each different classification of property is increasing. So single family residential will be about 9.1%, apartments 9.8, your condos and co-ops about 6.3. So for an overall total residential increase of 9.1%. Your farm increased about 7.9, commercial industrial 4.8, your institutional, which is your churches, rinks, halls, and schools, 1.5, your pipeline 20%, your railway 16.4%. So overall, your municipality is increasing about 10.3% when we combine everything together. So when this happens, so because your assessment values are increasing, generally that means that your mill rate would decrease a bit just because your increase in your tax base is occurring. If your assessments had gone down, then you would increase your mill rate to keep that budget the same, make sure you're getting the same amount of tax dollars coming in. So assessment increases and decreases from the reassessment don't necessarily mean that there will be an increase or decrease in the taxes. Only the properties that are seeing an above average assessment increase will have an increase in the taxes. These impacts also don't take into account any other levies or anything that you guys have in your municipality. They're only taking into account the general municipal levy, the school division, and the education support levies. So any extra levies you guys have are not included in this. So they use the 2023 tax levels against the 2024 assessment to estimate what the 2024 general mill rate would be, because we didn't have your mill rate at the time that these impact reports were done. Page 4 is just showing how your property taxes of each class will be impacted by the 2025 reassessment. So this is the total tax change based on your municipal and school levies. And again, this is based on no change to the budget or the mill rate. This is status quo, and it doesn't include the farmland school tax rebate either. So it kind of shows where there be like an overall change in your tax base. Because your pipeline is going up so much, they'll see more of an increase. And then this little chart or graph at the bottom just shows you that you'd have approximately 302 properties with a tax increase and 1,291 with a tax decrease. Page 5, again, is just another way to show it. So this is just showing how it is impacted just based on your municipal levy, not including the school division levy. So again, any properties that see an increase more than that 10.3% average, which is your municipal average, will probably see an increase in their taxes. Anything less than that 10.3 would see a decrease, and anything hovering around that 10.3 would generally see little to no change in their taxes. Page 6 is just showing you options that you have as council to moderate any large tax impacts or decreases that you would have. These are all available for you. If you have any questions or about them, I would suggest contacting your MSO, because some of these can take a while to put into place if you were looking into any of them. Page 7 is just a list of all the provincial tax credits available and being used. The one to note is the education property tax credit in 2025 will be changing to the homeowners affordability tax credit up to a maximum of $1,500 on your principal residence. So if you own more than one property, only the one that you're currently living in will receive this one. And I believe that the way they're doing it or proposing to do it will be taking it off the tax bill directly and not mailing out checks. Page 8 is where you can find some more information if you have any questions or anything. The one that we're really promoting is My Property MB. You guys all have a attachment or a pamphlet with you on those. This is our way that we're trying to get everybody to sign up for. So you use your client ID, which is on your reassessment notice. And if you own multiple properties, as long as your client ID is the same, all of your properties will show up on that. You only have to have the one client ID. This is where you'll be able to find all of the information about your properties that you would phone us for. You can get it on there directly, and you can print off any property reports that you want. Any reassessment notices that are coming out, you would get those on your My Property MB as well. So it's the same thing as CRA. You get an email saying that you have a new notification, and you can go in there and you can receive your reassessment notice. So we're just really promoting that, just trying to get away from the printing so much stuff and mailing things out. Some important notes dates to note. Your appeal deadline date is October 1st. Your border revision date is October 15th at 11 o'clock. And your 2025 assessment notices are being mailed out today. So there may start to be some phone calls within the next few days. Of course, pass any of them along to us that need to be. We're more than happy to deal with any questions or concerns that any ratepayers have. It's also easier for us to deal with them now as opposed to next year when they receive their tax bill, because by that point it's too late to change the 2025 assessments. So they'd be stuck with that for that year, and we'd only be able to make changes for 2026. So any questions or concerns, we would rather deal with them now. It's so much easier for us and for the ratepayer. And we have no problem going out and doing re-inspections of properties if anybody has any questions or concerns. Your 2025 assessments, they're preliminary right now. It won't impact these numbers in this impact report, but it's just if we have any, as we're doing wrapping up our maintenance season for this municipality, any demolition permits, new construction, anything like that, that will change your 2025 assessments, but you'll get the final rolls in the fall delivered to you. One thing that I do need to speak about is there is proposed pipeline assessment changes in works. I don't know if you guys were part of that meeting that we had. So what they're trying to do, or they're working on it right now, is to get it approved. We're in the pre-consultation phase of it. So what they're going to do is right now they are based on a cost base for pipelines. So what they're wanting to do is change it to a volume utilization method. So they'll start with a cost, but they'll also use the amount that the pipeline is actually putting through. So in some municipalities that will result in a decrease in their pipeline assessment, some will result in little to no change, and some get an increase. Your municipality is one of the ones that is set that it would benefit from it. You guys would get above that 20%. Whether these changes go through or not, your pipeline will increase 20%. If these changes are approved, it would increase another 20% on top of that. So your municipality is one that would greatly benefit if those pipeline changes come through. So again, these are just pre-consultation phase. We'll know within the next couple of months whether they get approved or not in legislation. Excuse me. Yeah, but other than that, any questions or concerns you have with it?
The pipeline has always been considered personal property, not real property, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Dealt with.
Yeah.
And I've asked for the formula, and I never have ever got it.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's
complicated.
Yeah, it's a very complicated one. We have a senior ICI assessor out of the Winnipeg office that deals with all the pipeline assessments across the province. So, yeah.
Councilors, questions?
I think we're good.
Thanks, Amy.
Okay, great. Thank you. And as always, if you guys have any questions or come up with anything later, just give us a call or send us an email and we'd be happy to answer anything you guys have.
And we can now make this document.
Yes, this document public. It's available. It's your guys' document. You can make it public. It will be put on our public website. I believe they upload them in the fall, so it will be public on our website. And yes, and you guys can make it. Send it out to me, whatever you want with it.
Good.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, be it resolved that the presentation by Amy Denbo in the assessment department on the tax impact with respect to reassessment be received. I'm going to move that. Councilor Jones, second, Councilor McDonald. All in favor? Okay, communications.
Okay, under the order of communications, we have several from the Association of Manitoba Municipalities. They are dated 2 on April the 12th, 2 on April the 15th, April 16th, April 17th, April 23rd, April 25th, April 26th, and April 30th. There are 2 from May the 1st, May the 2nd, 2 from May the 6th, and 2 from May the 10th. There's information provided from the Blue Hills RCMP regarding their golf tournament in June. The Canadian Wildlife Service Prairie Region has some proposed SARA amendments. Census Communications provided information on the 2024 census test. Community Futures provided information on their local initiatives grant, as well as their Building Diversified Communities, one idea at a time. Ducks Unlimited have provided some information on Wings Over Water. Duracan Labs have let us know that there is a change in who will be reporting to, and this is the ODW Water System Owner fact sheet. Enbridge Pipeline provided us with their safety and emergency information. Federation of Canadian Municipalities provided several communiques. They are dated April 8th, the 11th, the 12th, the 15th, 16th, 18th, 22nd, 24th, and 29th, as well as May the 6th, the 8th, and the 13th. The Hudson Bay Route Association will be holding their annual general meeting in June. Manitoba Good Roads has their 2024 annual competition open. If anybody's got any nominations, they can send them into the office for consideration in June. Manitoba government provided information from the Ground Up program. They also provided information on support for improved emergency preparedness. The Minister of Municipal and Northern Relations provided information on building a Manitoba for all people. Municipal and Northern Relations provided bulletin number 10, 11, 12, 13, and 16. Municipal World provided information for their 2024 editions. And the RM of Riding Mountain West provided information on special service levies and school tax mill rates. And if council wanted to do anything with respect to that, we would need to have a motion.
Right. Be it resolved that the above noted communications be received. So please move that. So Fisher, second, Councilor McGregor, discussion. All in favor? Okay, board reports. Councilor Jones, you have a report, written report, anything to add?
No.
Councilor Fisher, you have a report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor Hatch, you have a written report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor Rowe, you have a written report, anything to add?
No.
Councilor McDonald, you have a written report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor McGregor, anything to add to your written report? Mine, CAO, anything to add?
Nothing further.
Finance officer, anything to add to yours?
Nothing to add.
That's good. Public Works, anything to add to your report?
No, thank you.
Our Chief's report? Be resolved that the verbal and written reports be received. I please move that. Councilor Hatch, second, Councilor McDonald, discussion. All in favor? Okay, bylaws, we have none. Unfinished business, notice of reconsideration. Whereas following the April 16, 2024 meeting with council, advice was sought from both municipal relations and from legal counsel related to the code of conduct appeal process versus reconsideration process. And whereas the advice for both sources was that section 139 of the Municipal Act related to reconsideration does not apply where an appeal process exists. And whereas to protect his right of appeal within the prescribed timeline, Councilor Rome was made aware of this advice and provided with necessary forms to assist in the appeal process. Now therefore be it resolved that no further action be taken on the notice of motion to reconsider motion 631 from April 16, 2024 council meeting. So me to move that. Councilor McGregor, seconder. Councilor McDonald, discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, so one community college.
So this is something new that the municipality has been provided with. It is an opportunity to have a practicum placement. I will maybe let our Public Works Manager speak a little bit more to that.
Sure. I received a request to have a practicum. Apparently we're top on the list at ACC. So if it's something that we don't want to continue doing, maybe I'll contact them and get taken off the list. It requires 120 hours of practical experience, which has to be supervised, which I would not be able to do at this time. I just can't put forward that amount of time watching somebody, especially when we need to be doing the roads the best we can right now.
Okay. Then this would require having a machine available,
It would.
time and everything else. So you want to have a motion, a resolution on it, or do you want to just to say no? Or
I would
yes?
suspect that we should probably do a resolution that the Assiniboine Community College be notified that at this time we do not have the staff or equipment available to receive a practicum placement.
Okay, does somebody wish to make that motion? Councilor Fisher, there's a second. Councilor Owens is going to second it. Any further discussion?
What, like in what field are they talking about here? Like, what expertise? Anybody know?
It's for heavy.
Heavy equipment.
Heavy equipment?
They show a range of equipment. So, I mean, it's just not doable.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because obviously we want to see anybody succeed, but we just don't have the manpower to be training somebody for 2 weeks. Sitting on the same road as they're on. I just can't do it.
Councilor McGurk.
Mr. Chairman, I don't disagree with that. I would just note that often these practicums are a good recruitment tool. So, I'm not saying that we should be doing it now, just if there was a way to make it work in the future, that's been my experience, is that often these practicums turn into long-term employment. So
I did explore that option when speaking with them.
Okay,
So I did add that it could be looked at in the future if Councilor Fisher and Councilor Roman are okay with that amendment.
addition? Okay. All in favor? Okay, that's red lighting. You have the installation of the street lighting, that's for the mailbox.
It is. So council is aware that this wasn't something that was currently in the budget, but if council wanted to proceed with it, the resolution would be that the electric service agreement with Manitoba Hydro for the installation of a light at intersection Road 49 North and Highway 10 be approved, whereby the installation expense for approximately $7,500 and all monthly charges would be expended from the hydro expense line item.
Wish to move that?
I'll move it.
Seconder. Councilor Jones, discussion? Councilor McGregor?
Mr. Chairman, so I think that this is important. This actually comes out of our budget public hearing, I believe. So the question I have is whether we could investigate other options. This is, I think the lighting is important. $7,500 is quite a bit, especially noting that we need to do it at multiple sites. We priced this one out kind of as a test case. So I'm wondering, would there be any options for, a solar light of some sort that gets mounted near those boxes? Or, there must be other options other than this. So I'm just wondering before we make a decision on this, if we could kind of see what some of those other options might be. And the council that might have an idea too. But
It's a capital expenditure initially, with the pole and light. After that, it's just going to be the expense.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I think there's lots of solar options.
I think there's two good ones. Like,
Yeah, I
there's
mean, you see
LEDs,
them advertised all the time.
just amazing.
I mean, they just have to come on when
When
there's
somebody pulls
somebody's
up.
there. So, I personally would like to see that explored.
I put up solar lights at the Wawanesa transfer station and they work well. And they're pretty bright nowadays, like they're made pretty good.
Motion.
Table motion then? Councilor McGarry.
I think Councilor Owen want to speak, but yeah, I would put forward the table.
I just wanted to say something further to what Chelsea just said about the solar lights at the waste transfer station. I'd like to see something happen at the rural one as well, because there's the light on the pole there currently doesn't work.
It doesn't?
Mr. Chairman, was that a like direct quote from Hydro for the pole and the installation and the light itself?
Yeah.
And I think it would be attached to an existing pole, right?
There was two, they gave two options. One was to install a new pole and one was, they suggested going off the existing one that was there. That's what Hydro suggested. Said it was the cheaper option.
So, sorry, I maybe missed that. What option do we have in our package, or do we have both options?
Just right on the,
I don't think there's both options.
Just the one.
just be just light on there.
This was to attach to the
Yeah.
existing.
They would supply the light.
So a separate pole would be even more.
Yeah, I mean, much cheaper to supply your own pole, and then
Something, yeah.
you could get a very good light for way cheaper than that.
Did you wish to table that, Councilor McGarry?
Yeah, I'll put forward a
Table
table.
motion. Okay. Seconder, any motion? Councilor Jones? All in favor of the table motion? Be it resolved that the proposed fiber path crossing under Highway 10 between roads 44 north and 45 north located in southeast 15819 WPM as outlined on the map attached to correspondence dated May 1st, 2024 from RF Now be approved subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023. Can we move that? Councilor McDonald, second Councilor Hatch, discussion. All in favor? Be it resolved, the proposed fiber path along the east side of Road 108 West between roads 38 north and 39 north, as outlined on the map attached to correspondence dated May 3rd, 2024 from RF Now, be approved subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023. We move that. All in favor? Be resolved that in accordance with the approach policy trans 008, the application of Jeff Brown to construct an approach on the far southeast quarter 4719 WPM be approved. Seconder. Roll discussion.
Mr. Chairman, Chelsea, you see no problem with this? Thank you.
All in favor? Be it resolved that in accordance with grants request policy number counts 002, a grant in the amount of $200 be provided to the Sunshine Highway 2021 ride to support a historic recreation of the 1921 ride that promoted tourism and raised awareness of vibrant communities along the Sunshine Highway. Can we move that? Councilor McDonald, seconder. Mr. Fisher, discussion? Who is the Sunshine Highway?
I know where it is.
Comes right from Belmont through to
Brandon.
This wasn't in our budget that was earlier.
No, we do have provision there for, I think we had 8, how much was in the budget unallocated under that?
We have more than 200.
I think it ended up at 450, I believe.
Was this 450 unallocated? Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? In favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Whereas it's, at its December 15, 2023 meeting, council determined that the following members shall serve on the Board of Revision and of Council Krakowicz and Councilors Fisher and Rome. And whereas a resolution is required to name the presiding officer and the secretary, now therefore be it resolved that the council will serve as the presiding officer of the board and the chief administration officer will serve as the secretary. Move that. Councilor Fisher, seconder. McGregor, discussion. Okay, be it resolved that policy trans 012 related to the disposition of shingles by commercial contractors be amended to include a clause whereby contractors who are not following the established process will be invoiced at amount of some.
Will be councils.
Okay, so we have to have the motion notice for the number that's.
We talked the other day 2 times the regular fee.
The whole rate.
We start there. Sound process will be invoiced at amounts of double the rate. And further, be it resolved that the necessary amendments be brought forward to include the new fee and fees and charges bylaw number 48/2020. Move that. Mr. McGregor, second. Councilor Hatch, discussion. Councilor Rowe.
I think it was about one point in time that our contractors are normally hauling these shingles for residents. And in that light, you know, if the resident was hauling them, they wouldn't have to pay because they're already paying under their special levy. I think it was mentioned at one point that would it not be feasible for the contractor to have a letter signed by the resident saying that they didn't have the ability to haul them and he was simply performing that task for them? I'm assuming that our policy was to get away from contractors bringing in shingles from other areas and from, but I mean, when they're acting for our residents, is it fair for us to double charge basically?
Mr. Chairman, the actual, the biggest part of the thought process here is not around that. That's part of it, but the issue we keep running into is the bins are full when residents go. So this is to try to get pre-notification so that we can have bins available so that ratepayers aren't showing up on a Saturday to full bins.
But, you know, looking at it, if residents bring them, there's no requirement for them to give prior notice, they just show up. I just don't like the kind of double standard that's we're putting forward here.
Well, I think this last one, their contractor was followed or notice comes from Brandon with the load of shingles rather than from the municipality part. So
Right,
that was disturbing.
But that letter from the ratepayer saying that they were coming from their yard would cover that.
Well, we need prior notice. We can't have the ratepayers not being able to dump their garbage on a Saturday because a contractor comes in with a heavy load of shingles and fills the bin. That's not fair to the residents. I mean, we can't benefit one at the cost of many.
No, but I think our problem is bigger than that. I think there's lots of times when our bins are short because the company hasn't brought bins.
Whenever I call for a bin, it's taking approximately 2 to 3 days to get an extra bin. We're on a schedule right now per week. And I monitor it as closely as I can, but in the occasion somebody comes with a huge commercial load of shingles, then that's 2 to 3 days before I can get an extra bin. So if I knew even a couple days in advance, it would help quite a bit.
Well, the present policy calls for 5 days, I think, is that not?
So should we just out of courtesy ask our residents even to give notice?
Depends on what it is, yeah.
Well, if it's coming off a house, it's not gonna be any bigger to the contractor than it is to the resident. I mean, it's the same way, but I'm just trying to approach this with some fairness, because really what's happening if the contractor goes to do a house and he's hauling the shingles for them, they're really already paid for through our special levies.
But I think it was that everybody in the municipality is paying for that bin, right? So it was, I mean, he should be incorporating that price into his jobs like any other business does, right?
And I'm sure, well, obviously they have to, but then the ratepayer's paying, the contractor to haul them, plus they're paying for the, through their special levies. So, I mean, if I show up with a truckload of shingles, I can dump it, right?
No, if it's commercial load.
No. If I show up with a truckload of shingles from off my shed in my house, I can dump them. Is that not how our policy reads right now?
So the policy is in place, and
Yeah, there's a smaller fee for a household.
If I could, I
Yeah.
believe the policy identifies commercial in the definition.
right. We're worried about commercial dumping shingles. That's what the policy is at.
But mine wouldn't be commercial. Mine would be,
But if a commercial person's bringing them, that's what we're concerned about. And that's where this was brought into effect. That hasn't been that long ago. It was only October of last year where we developed this because of the very issues we ran into with both bins. And it was contractors. It was not homeowners. And besides that, most contractors charge for disposing of shingle to the ratepayers. So the contractor should be dealing with that and paying it out. Yeah. And I think it's pretty easy. We just can't penalize the ratepayers for commercial contractors.
oh, we kind of are.
The shingles are the highest cost of the dumpings of the.
No, I get that, Craig, but I'm saying that we kind of are penalizing ratepayers because they're paying a special levy, plus they're paying the contractor because he's had to pay a dumping fee. I mean, it's
kind of
just my thought on it. I mean, if I back my truck up to the house and he loads my truck and I take it over there, I'm not having to follow the same rules as he is. So.
But we also have the problem, it seems to be one individual that's causing the problem. And being quite arrogant with our worker at the landfill too.
Well, and it's not that we haven't had to deal with that in the past. I mean, we had another individual that was.
Okay, we're not gonna go there. This is on the shingles part. Let's just stick to the shingles. Okay, let's do that, okay? Number one,
I'm just saying there's other ways to deal with it. I mean, there's that other person that wasn't dealing with, that was being arrogant, was told, hey, you're no longer welcome to drop commercially here. So.
we'll leave it at that.
Mr. Chairman, is there a way possibly, Chelsea, that where the,
Direct it to the chair first, Frank. We'll get.
sorry,
involved.
Mr. Chairman, is there a possibility that where we used to store all of our chemical drugs, that we could then have a storage facility for the shingles and then once or twice a year have those be picked? Then you are having your bins last longer and you wouldn't be paying that constant weight increase throughout the year. Just a suggestion.
And it's been done that way
I
before.
mean, I know, I used to load the bins here
Yeah.
previously, when there was no berm and no bin to put it in.
Yeah.
Now this makes it easier for people with shingles because you don't have to hand bomb them in.
Yeah.
You can just dump them in, but then that also requires us to go there with equipment and
Yeah.
load it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and then, I mean, by that, are they disintegrating and are they, things flying around?
Well, there's
It's
nails and
something we
everything
can
else.
look
I
into.
mean, people get flat tires and everything else going on there. So, I mean, there's so many things there. If you want to have a report, then put a resolution and have a report come from, administration. But I think at this time, we're concerned about commercial people bringing the shingle.
I mean, if you were interested in something like that, I mean, I think have a specific firm and a bin for the shingles and keep it closed until they've paid and reopen it, right? But I mean, for one commercial contractor that's doing most of the dumping, I don't know that that's feasible.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm not clear on what's being suggested as an alternative.
Well, we're looking at doubling the cost for the contractor if they don't follow the procedures.
Yeah,
Notification.
no, I'm asking, Councilor Rowan is disagreeing, but I'm not clear on what is being suggested as an
Alternative.
Well, I guess the alternative is to treat is for the contractor to supply a letter from the ratepayer saying that they're actually coming from there, like Greg was suggesting that there was loads coming out of Brandon. And my suggestion would be that if they are legitimately coming from a ratepayer that's already paying for them, and the contractor can supply a letter to that effect, that would be the alternative.
Mr. Chairman, we've already asked the contractor to supply advance notice and he won't even do that.
Mr. Chairman, so my issue is that doesn't help us with the bins being full. What is our suggestion for trying to prevent the bins from being full?
Well, I guess the problem we still have is that what Chelsea said to us is the bins, you order them it takes 2 or 3 days to get a bin. So the problem still exists. I mean, we're still having full bins even with the shingles at times, right? So I think the root problem here is trying to get the company that delivers the bins to be a little more on top of it. And how you do that, I'm not sure, but I mean, it isn't always the shingles that create the full bins. No.
So, just to, in the policy and procedures manual, it says in that specific procedure, at least 5 business days in advance of any disposition, the contractor must notify the municipal office of the intent to dispose. Notification must include the estimated number of bundles to be disposed of, which the waste transfer station will be utilized, and date of the anticipated disposal. We're asking for, if they want to get a letter from their resident, that's fine. Then they can present that to the municipal office. They just have to do it within 5 days. That's what we're asking for. 5 days notice. If they don't comply, then it's just a commercial. This has got so little to do with everything else. It's just one item that we're trying to deal with. If we have the notification, then we'll make that problem. I mean, is there other problems with it? Yes, we can deal with that in a different basis. This is just strictly to do with shingles that we're dealing with right now.
So my question then would be, if you double the fee as a penalty, how do you collect it?
Wow, yeah, sooner or later, either that individual is going, if there's one individual involved, one company, then we have to deal with that. Already, we got a situation we should be dealing with harassment of our staff at the waste transfer station. And that is another item to deal with, but as far as the shingles go, then we deal with everything as it comes up. It's administration.
If I could add to that, the waste transfer station staff have taken pictures when dumping is being done without following the process. I think it would be easy at that point then to document the date. The picture usually does anyways. We would then have the ability to send an invoice. If the invoice isn't paid, we have the opportunity to take it to the credit bureau. But right now, there is no penalty for doing that, and it's a lot of additional administrative time. It's extra time on the waste transfer station, And if you get to the point of it going to credit bureau, you're losing 30%. The fees right now are based on what it costs to have an extra bin delivered and the weight of the bin. That is just offsetting the costs that are included in the policy. This would be a way of increasing those so that the municipality actually is reimbursed for its time, and if you lose the 30% for credit bureau.
So is the contractor currently paying the fee, just not giving notice? Is that how it's working?
No, he's not paying at all, and he's dumping, and staff are not comfortable approaching him because of the aggressive manner.
So I don't see how increasing the fee is gonna change anything then. But, yeah,
Very good. All in favor? Opposed? Great. Okay, so. Do this one, give us some old notes on it.
I could. So if council will recall, there was a request from an individual last year to do cutting of trees in the municipal right of way. And council refused that for risk purposes. This is an individual who is wanting to take away two dead oak trees at the waste transfer station to be used within their own furnace. I don't know whether council's thought process is still the same, that it is a risk regardless of where the trees are being cut, if it is being done on municipal property.
So be resolved that the request by Fred Connor to remove two dead oak trees located in Wawanesa Waste Transfer Station be approved.
Or denied, yeah.
How do you do a negative?
Well, be denied, and voting for it is a positive, if that is what council wants to do.
Denied. It be resolved that the request by Fred Connor to remove two dead oak trees located in the Wawanesa Waste Transfer Station be denied. Somebody move that. On seconder. Seconder. Councilor McGregor seconded. Discussion. Councilor McDonald.
And that is to be denied, right? That's
Yeah.
the vote on. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering if we could get comments from Public Works. I feel like there is potentially a small difference in this request because this is a fenced off area and our concern with the other one, I believe, snowmobiles.
Yeah, that there was stumps. So
No, there's a pathway, like, regular travel for off-road vehicles.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if you have any comments, Chelsea, if that's okay.
I think that if we start to allow this, it won't end.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, be resolved that the activities related to Pound Pail and Paddle Weekend being held July 12th to 14th, 2024, including a parade, boat races, entertainment, beer gardens, taking place at Seddon's Landing, the Wawanesa District Community Hall and parking lot, and arena and parking lot of Wawanesa, Manitoba be supported. And further that as previously delegated, the CAO provide the necessary community event letter for the purpose of obtaining the necessary liquor licenses for the July 12th, July 14th events. Let me move that. Councilor McGregor, second, Councilor Hatch. Discussion. All in favor? Okay, council indemnity be resolved that the council indemnity sheets or the indemnity sheet for each council member be posted monthly on the RM meeting agenda. Councilor Rowan, this is your resolution. Do you wish to move it?
yes, it will.
We have a seconder. And Councilor Jones, discussion. Councilor Don.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I just, I'm all for this because I'm on two very busy committees and I don't even put in for all the time I'm in them, but maybe I should be if they want to,
Well,
post it. I was on the, probably 4 days out of 5 on dealing with the stuff, so.
so I guess Councilor Rowan, you had a reason you want to get cover up why you.
I had a request from ratepayers, and I think this is something that's just another point on transparency. People would like to this to be put forward, and I think it's only right. I mean, if we're charging indemnities and so on, I think it's only fair that it be transparent.
So we already have a bylaw that's in place to show how much the indemnities are. That's all made public have that, right?
People were asking for the breakdown
Okay.
per council member.
And then we have the audit. Every audit includes all the costs. We're required to do that by law to show what.
Comment on that?
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the public sector compensation disclosure. It's a note to the financial statement.
Right.
It's a breakdown. It's a requirement of that act, the public sector compensation disclosure act. And it gives a breakdown of compensation and expenses and total by counselor.
Yeah, and we have the committee reports are to include their different areas they attended that month. So I'm not sure where we're not being transparent, other than maybe a dollar amount. Is that what it is?
You know what, I don't know. I mean, I just think it's a simple request. We put in our indemnity sheets each month, and we have to declare that they're accurate as far as we know.
And
There's really no reason they couldn't go on our agenda so that people can look at it with the agenda, and I think it was a simple request coming from the public.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I have no issue with this. I think it's important to note that all of these requests take time from our staff. And it's always a little bit frustrating to get comments that we have too many staff, and then requests like this from some of the same people. So yeah, it's a simple request. The next simple request that comes forward will be the invoices for all of the payments. And so I think we just have to be mindful of the administrative burden that we're putting on our staff and the cost to some of these simple requests, because they all have a cost. So I have no issue with this. But eventually, we need to be able to do our job.
Okay. All in favor? Oh,
Sorry, just a question. So are you asking for the actual indemnity forms, or do you want a breakdown by? Like, I'm just not quite sure what you're asking.
Well, I guess the simplest is, I mean, each and every one of us files an indemnity sheet each month. Just a snapshot of that, I guess, is the simplest way.
Anything else? All in favor? Opposed? Counselor Fisher?
I'm abstaining.
Abstain?
Yeah.
So let's have that again. Up in favor of it? Opposed?
Yeah.
This defeated, this is no tie, 3-3. Okay, be it resolved, the head of council present a full report to council following Western caucus meetings. Councilor, I believe this is yours as well.
Yes,
Move it.
it is mine. I'll move it.
Seconder? Seconder? Councilor Jones, seconding? Seconding it? Any comment and concerns? Councilor McGarry?
Mr. Chairman, could maybe get some background on why this is being adjusted for these specific meetings? There's lots of meetings that happen in the course of
Well, I think-
council and business. So I don't understand what the purpose of this request is.
Well, I think anytime any one of us represents council at a meeting, whether it's a committee meeting or wherever, it should be somewhere in the report so we know what's discussed. I would like to have some idea of what is discussed at the Western caucus meetings, and talking to other municipalities, they've said that they get reports as to what the discussions are. Can the head of council not even maybe include that in his report each month?
I do refer to some stuff. The problem with the caucus is that there's approximately 18 municipalities involved there. their minutes come out and discussions we have within the caucus, which I'm vice chair, is that there's a lot of municipalities that put information that I don't think is pertinent to our council. Nothing some should be subjected to our council, or we shouldn't be subjecting that critique of the other council of other municipalities. So I bring stuff forward that is pertinent to our municipality. And if it's not pertinent to our municipality, then I don't bring it forward. But it's usually on my, it will make a better effort to do that. But as far as a full report, I would be redacting a lot of information if I put in the minutes, because I don't think it's something that we should be doing from our council. Councilor over here.
Mr. Chairman, again, where does it end with these requests? We represent council at how many meetings a month? I don't need a full report on the vet board from Frank. He reports that he attended the meeting and he reports that the important information. I do the same with Rec Commission. Bob does the same with Valley Lodge. Conservation, like, I just don't understand why we would start to request a full report from every meeting that is being attended by council.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, these following resolutions. Be it resolved that the Council of Municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa support the following resolutions as proposed by the municipalities of Surrey, Glenwood, Prairie Lakes, Brenda, Wascata, and Pipestone. Speed limits. One go individually with this.
I would say leave it all as one, and if council has any issues with any of them, then you would separate.
That's this first one here, right? So it's adopting speed limits, infrastructure adjacent to provincial main lanes, health management, management of public housing, new requirements for audited financial statements for senior housing. So you wish to move that? Councilor Jones, seconder. Councilor Fisher, discussion?
Mr. Chairman, what are the saying about the speed limits?
I think we want to have more control of them in our designated towns, lines, et cetera. Where now it's up to, for instance, if you go through like Glenboro, they have the speed limit right on the edge of town, and at the Vermont province operates that. You have to apply for it all the time if you want to reduce it for safety. So.
If you want to read it further, from there's the full whereases.
The infrastructure main lanes, that happened here when they repaved this road, which is a provincial trunk highway. And we ended up having to pay each side of the, what is it, 18 meters? What did they pay?
They only paved 7.3 in the middle, and we look after the other side of the goal. That much on each side. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a blanket to just back up those resolutions for the Western District meetings. All in favor? Be it resolved that the regular meeting now adjourns to an in-camera meeting to discuss matters related to matters in our preliminary stage and enforcement as per subsection 152(3)(b)(3) and 4 of the Municipal Act. All matters discussed in camera are confidential until discussed in an open meeting as per section 83(1)(d) of the Municipal Act. Want me to do that? Councilor Donald, seconder. Fisher, all in favor? Okay, be resolved that this in-camera meeting does now resume back to a regular meeting. Somebody move that. Councilor Fisher, seconder. Councilor McGregor, all in favor? Carried. Okay, you've got those resolutions there, so.
Could you? For tender number 2, be it resolved that the bid of Tri-Wave in the hourly amounts per piece of equipment as outlined in the bid sheet dated May 15th, 2024 for equipment for rural road reconstruction be accepted.
Okay, somebody move that. Counselor Fisher, seconder. Counselor McDonald. All in favor? Opposed?
And then there was the be it resolved that a project manager at a cost of $30 per hour for manager and truck be approved.
Somebody move that. Counselor Hatch, seconder. Counselor McDonald. All in favor?
Okay, tender number 3 for paving in Wawanesa. Be it resolved that the bid of Zenith Paving in the amount of $112,849.14 plus $114.61 per square meter.
Yeah.
Square meter for cutout and reconstruct for small jobs for paving in Wawanesa be accepted.
Move that. Donald, seconder. Counselor Hatch. All in favor?
Well, sure, I'm just questioning that amount, like, is that the amount that we want to check?
That's the top amount. It's approved, but it's where the number's gonna come down because of their measuring. That's the top amount, still below. Right?
There is a section that's already paved on that street that didn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm just questioning if we want to say that it's in the amount of,
Just to take that amount out.
I don't know, can we take it or can we?
In an amount not to exceed.
Who moved it?
Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Hatch.
Okay with the change?
And then a resolution be it resolved that any amount beyond projected cost in, oh, sorry.
Vote for that first. Tender number 3 for paving, all in favor? Carried.
And then be it resolved that any amount beyond the projected costs included in the budget be expended from the gas tax reserve.
So we move that. Counselor Baker, seconder. Counselor Fisher, all in favor?
And then tender form material for road reconstruction. Be it resolved that the bid of Jeff Brown in the amount of $4 per yard for shale material for road reconstruction be accepted.
You do that separate.
I think he's did that in separate.
Who's gonna move this? Counselor move it. Counselor Hatch can move it, seconder. Counselor Fisher, all in favor?
And then be it resolved that the bid of Fred Gilbert in the amount of $20 per yard for pit run, $21 per yard for riprap, 36-inch rocks at $40 per yard, and 24-inch rocks at $40 per yard for rural road reconstruction be accepted.
Somebody move that. Counselor McDonald, second, Counselor McGregor, all in favor? We're good there.
We are.
Okay, we resolved it to offer to purchase from Charlotte Cron for lots 21-22, block 6, plan 140, located in Carroll, Manitoba, in the amount of $1,000 be approved, subject to the applicant obtaining all necessary permits, place the applications and being responsible for all closing costs and transfer the title. Somebody move that. Counselor Moore, seconder, Counselor Fisher. All in favor? Be resolved that the 2 4-drawer filing cabinets be donated to Seniors Independent Services. Move that. Counselor McGregor, second. Counselor Jones, all in favor? Minimal one. Be resolved that council continue to support minimum billing for the Wawanesa District Community Hall, Wawanesa Week Care Daycare Center, Whiskey Museum, Wawanesa Community Pool, Wawanesa Campground, and the Wawanesa District Recreation Center and Zamboni Room with excess consumption reported as a grant in kind. We move that. Colonel Seconder. Gregor. Councilor Rowe.
that was a grant in kind from the utility.
And the
Right.
next resolution speaks to it being from utility.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Next, be resolved that the utility grant in kind expense be recognized as utility expense instead of a grant in kind expense as part of the recreation and culture portion of the operating budget. Council Commissioner, seconder. Councilor McGregor. All in favor? Okay. Be resolved that a letter be sent to the owner of the Brandon Hill Estates requiring that the animal control bylaw be adhered to within 30 days, whereby any action following that time will be billed to the owner. Move that. Mr. Jones, seconder. Councilor McDonald, all in favor? Very good. Okay, be resolved that the administration contact Dan Billings for future update on
Third Street property.
Third Street property. So we move that. Councilor Gregor, second Councilor Hatch, all in favor? Resolved that the agreement as previously circulated for municipal emergency coordinator services with Leah Pattison be approved. Councilor McDonald moves it, seconder. Councilor McGregor, all in favor? Okay, be resolved that the report from Buckingham Business Investigations and Security Solutions dated May 1st, 2024 be received, and further that Buckingham Business Investigations and Security Solutions be required to reopen the investigation to facilitate an interview with the respondent prior to June 18, 2024, with submission of an updated report to council. So do that, Councilor Jones, move it, seconder. Councilor McGregor, all in favor? Carried. Be resolved that this meeting is now adjourned. To meet again on June 21st, 2024 at 9 a.m. at the Municipal Office. Do that. Fisher, seconder. All in favor?